Today we're going to talk about acting. Specifically, what I think is the most powerful, underrated acting technique ever. And that's the psychological gesture. The PG. The psychological gesture is the physical expression of a character's thoughts, desires, motivation, everything. Everything the character is thinking and feeling, you incorporate that into a movement of your body. There's two rules to the psychological gesture. It should be very quick and it should be very specific. You can't just be flailing your hands out. If you're going to be flailing your hands mindlessly, you're better off not gesturing and just putting them to the side. They call this the actor's paintbrush. So think of it like brush strokes, all right? Very quick. Boom. So how do we practice this? You should find a gesture for each one of your lines. Attach a gesture every single one of your lines, even if it doesn't make sense. And while you're rehearsing, you should exaggerate these gestures. Make them big. When you're rehearsing, you should look like a crazy person. So by the time you give your final performance, you scale 95% of that back. And what you're left with is a very subtle but a very emotional, compelling performance. Because you're going to deliver your lines. But the big gestures and that emotion is going to be underneath the lines. So here's an example of me performing a monologue, and you could see my gesturing and how I scale it back and ramp it up and play with it. Fear. The spectacle. Fearsome acts. Somebody takes from me, I chop his hands off. If somebody talks back to me, I'll cut their tongue off. Now, somebody wants to rise against me, I'll stick his head on a pike, raise it up in the air high, so they all can see. Because that's what it costs. That's what preserves the order things. The spectacle, fearsome acts. If somebody takes from me, I chop his hands off. If somebody talks back to me, I'll cut their tongue off. Now, somebody wants to rise against me, I'll stick their head on a pike, raise it up in the air high, so they all can see. There's only one constant, one real truth. Causality. Action, reaction, cause, effect. Choice is an illusion created by those with power and those without. See, there's only one constant, one real truth. Causality. Action, reaction, cause, effect. Choice is an illusion created by those with power and those without. Cool. So that's the way you want to practice, all right? You attach a gesture to all your lines, you practice them very big, and then you lose it all. So what makes the gesture so powerful? Well, you can probably go watch a TED Talk that can explain it, the science behind it, but it's been proven that body movements make you feel something. You can actually tap into your emotion by striking these poses and engaging your body. That's not to say that that's what you're going to do in your final performance, but this is what we're practicing to get our body into character. Another reason why I think the psychological gesture is so powerful is because there's so many acting techniques that boil down to you reading a book and writing and getting all philosophical. In real life, people don't walk around just thinking so hard about what they're going to say and how they're going to behave. All right? They just are. They just be. The Chekhov technique just goes good with that mantra. You just do it. You just engage with it. You know, add gestures to your lines and get all into character physically. Well, what does your character do? Do those same things. That's what it's about. Embodying the character you're trying to create. And that's what you do when you engage in this kind of imaginative acting work. All right? You're embodying the character. You're not thinking about the character's motivations, about his desires and what does he want. No, you're becoming the guy. In a lot of ways, your body and your voice sets the limitations of you as an actor. If you're 5'3", weigh 100 pounds, you're not gonna be the captain of the football team. All right, that's not gonna happen. That's what sets the limitation. So to me, the more you play with your body, the more you play with your voice, you're just going to widen that spectrum of who you could transform into. And obviously there's going to be characters that are just going to be way out of your range, and it happens. But why wouldn't you want to play with that? And when you get good with this, there's going to be moments where you're going to feel compelled to throw your gestures in your performance. It's like real life, all right? In real life, people don't wear their emotions on their sleeves. They try to bury their emotions and hide their emotions as much as they can, and then it reveals itself in certain moments. That's the way you want your gestures to be. I hope you guys learned something, and subscribe. Click the buttons. Daddy got bills to pay, so do it.